they brought me in to NBC, and because my friend had been working on Broadway Open House, uh, Ted Cott, whom I mentioned as the general manager, came in, took over the local station, and a chap by the name of Steve Krantz was the program director. And one day Steve called me in and he said, "We have a guy coming over from CBS. We want to do a local variety show, local in New York." And he said his name is Steve Allen. You've probably seen him on What's My Line or something. And I was very taken. I thought that was pretty good stuff. So I did the Steve Allen local show. It was called the Steve Allen Show for a year. I think it was a year. And at that point, NBC decided to do a Tonight Show. Pat Weaver, the president at the time, decided to do a show like the Today Show, only at night, and it wanted to call it the Tonight Show. So we did the Tonight Show, and I did that for the better part of 10 years with Steve Allen. Oh, I thought he was a genius. The man was really something unique. He was bright. He was funny. He was a humorist. I mean, he wasn't a stand-up guy. He was a humorist, but a very creative mind, wonderful mind in many ways, in music and the bits that he did. He'd go up in the audience. He was the first one to do that, go up and talk to people in the audience and have you in stitches. The things he'd say, open up the back door and you put a camera out there, and he would, we would shoot people walking back and forth on 44th Street, and they'd see a bright light coming out of the stage door, but that's all they could see. They couldn't see the camera, so they'd come by and they'd look at the light and what was going on, and Steve would comment on them, telling us all where they were from and what they did in business, and all funny things, because there's some funny-looking people, there were some strange-looking people, and there were some great-looking people. So but he was funny. I learned more there than anywhere. It was great. It was really great, and I worked there with two great guys. Bill Harback, who was the producer of the show, and my dearest friend of all, a guy by the name of Nick Vanoff, who has since passed on. He and I were together for a long time on lots of projects, but he was there in the Steve Allen era, and he went on to many things later. But
what did you learn specifically from that show?
Well, I think that my feeling for lighting as being an important part of, as important as anything, to a production, came out of Steve Allen. Not that anything was lit more beautifully than any other show, but we were able to. It was new and early, and it was the first time we did a lot of lighting that, as I say, wasn't brilliant, but it was different, and I learned a lot that way.